Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that second video just to make you think. Now, today is Veterans Day, and we much appreciate veterans. But guys, we know that our military complex is used by the banks.
There was no media.
Every war was created by the bank. Guys, when we look at wars, who always profited off these wars? The big corporations.
And that's
who always took the hit
like
from the wars?
This is a very
the actual soldiers, the civilians, raped, killed, pillaged, and it all came from the American Empire, guys. The Federal Reserve printing up the dollars. Now that the American Empire is about to end, and we clearly see how they're going to set up to destroy the dollar.
Job skills there.
Now the American people are going to be brought to their knees by the same banking system that had them propped up.
The
American people had an opportunity to stand up against these banks, but the American people is a sleeping nation. Now Martin Luther King had two great quotes.
And
our lives begin to end
those 20 weeks of training,
the day we become silent about things that matter.
And that's what you're meant to do.
Also,
you're meant to be
in
a mindless machine. You follow
we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Y'all enjoy the video.
You don't have agency. You're not a human being. You're a cog in a gigantic machine. And for those who have power and wealth, of course, you're just another number. And for the generals, you're just a body. That's what we used to refer to other Marines as bodies. Like, yeah, we need more bodies here. Get more bodies on the ground, get more boots on the ground. You're not a person, you're a boot. Get more boots on the ground. And what's inherent to that training? Well, people in the Middle East are referred to as sand niggers, hajis, camel jockeys, towel heads, barbarians, terrorists, women, bitches, cunts. Women Marines referred to as WMs, walking mattresses. That's why 1 in 3 women who are coming back from military service are reporting military sexual trauma, because their fellow brothers are actually raping them while they're in the service. That's 1 in 3. It's not far removed from the 1 in 4 women in America who already report sexual trauma throughout their lives, or have experienced it at least once. So, again, firmly entrenched in the military culture and in the institution is patriarchy and homophobia. Of course, everyone is referred to as a faggot, queer, pussy, a cunt. Again, reinforcing that you're weak, of course, if you're gay, bisexual, queer, so on and so forth. All firmly entrenched in the training, all firmly entrenched in the ideology, and all firmly entrenched in the kind of linguistics and the lexicon within the military. In Iraq, what did we do? We went on house raids, patrolled, either waited to get blown up by IEDs or mortars, because tactically it's insane. Everybody knows that you cannot win a counterinsurgency war, whatever winning would be. It's never happened. You can talk to the British who've been to Malaysia, you could talk to the French who've been to the Algiers, you could talk to the Americans and Australians and the rest who've been to Vietnam and Korea, and the Soviets in Afghanistan, and the United States in Afghanistan and Iraq, and every single time militarily have had their asses kicked, and rightfully so. But have also caused tremendous amounts of death and destruction. 1 million Iraqis dead. 7 million Iraqis displaced within a country of 25 to 30 million people. An entire generation lost. People forget that when there's a war for 10 years, kids don't go to school. You don't develop. You drop depleted uranium-coated rounds that have a half-life of X amount of billion years, and so now you have birth defects in towns like Ramadi and Fallujah that are 500% what they were 10 years ago. We've absolutely devastated that country, the United States and the West. After 30 years of warfare, supporting both sides in the 8-year war with Iran and Iraq, the Gulf War, the sanctions throughout the 90s that Madeleine Albright and Bill Clinton said were worth it. 500,000 dead, women and children. Madeleine Albright on news, 10 o'clock news. Yeah, it's worth it. Absolutely. What was happening over there? We were killing people. We were killing innocent people. People were being taken captive. If they looked like a quote-unquote insurgent, you did what you wanted to do with them. It was a free-for-all. There was no media there. There's no one to look after you. And the Marines took it upon themselves to shoot at, beat, rob, rape, kill whoever they wanted to. And that's being proposed on the news as like a few bad apples. This is a very isolated incident. This, to me, is Western culture par excellence. This is exactly what this culture is built upon, and anyone, I think, who's telling anyone differently is absolutely insane, because we've robbed, beaten, raped, and tortured people from Vietnam to Southeast Asia, to South America, to Africa, to the slaves that we brought over to the United States, and of course the indigenous people that we've genocidally murdered and displaced. We operate 900 to 1,000 military bases worldwide and have overthrown democratically elected governments from Libya to Iran to Chile, and right now as we speak, drones are killing civilians from Pakistan to Somalia, all in the name of American empire and all with American tax dollars.
To all those serving in the Army and the Marines and the Air Force and the Navy, that you have the absolute right to refuse to take part in these criminal wars, and that's a right that all of you should exercise. You have no reason to go put your life on the line and kill and die for profit. We've been to Iraq, we've been to Afghanistan, and we know what these wars are really about. And we joined the military for many reasons. Because we need a college education, because we need a job, because we need health care. And then we joined the military, and they tell us that our enemies are poor people in caves in Afghanistan, or poor people in the deserts of Iraq. But we've been to those countries, and we know that our enemies are not other poor people abroad. Our enemies are the people that laid us off from our jobs, that denied us health care, that make it impossible to get an education. Our enemies are not in the poorest countries on the planet, but right here in the richest one. Now these wars, the occupations of Iraq and Afghanistan alone, are costing over $700 million every single day. This is a crime. Every single day, while so many of us are hurting. Well, I think all of us here, and the vast majority of people in this country, would agree that we can spend $700 million a day better than bombing people that we have no reason to bomb. We can spend $700 million a day rebuilding those countries we've destroyed. We can spend $700 million a day caring for the veterans we get home when they get home. And then we can spend $700 million a day giving every single person health care, a college education, a job, and a livelihood, and a home. That's what we need to be spending our money on. But this government is not going to do that. They're not going to use the money in that way. They're not going to end the wars. And they're not going to do it because it's not our government. It's their government. It's the government of the rich. It's the government of Wall Street, of the oil giants, of the defense contractors. It's their government, and the only language that they understand is shutting down business as usual. And that's what we're doing here today, and we're going to continue to do until these wars are over. Well, it's crystal clear now that these wars are going to continue and expand and go into other countries. That is the trend. That is what we know, that there is perpetual war, and it's only going to stop if the people stand up and stop it. And that's what we're going to do, sisters and brothers. And a lot of people ask me, what do we do? Because we all know things are bad. We all see the atrocities on TV. We read about it. We experience it. People always ask, what do I do? Because we always want to know what to do. Do we vote? Do we support a politician? Do we join an organization? What do we do? Well, I'll tell you what we do. It's simple. We fight. We fight and we fight and we fight, and we shut down our workplaces. We shut down our schools. We shut down the streets. We shut down business as usual, and we fight until we force the people in there to do what the people out here want, because that's how we're going to get around, and we're going to fight until there's not one more bomb drop, not one more bullet fired, not one more soldier coming home in a wheelchair, not one more family slaughtered, not one more day of U.S. imperialism. So let's fight to make that happen. We can do it today, and then a day days ahead. We have to fight to end these wars and create a better world system, brothers. So join us in that fight. Thanks.
I'm an Air Force veteran here with some Army veterans. We're just wondering why we should vote for someone who voted for a war and enable a war to kill thousands of our brothers and sisters. Countless Iraqi civilians. You enabled that war. You also gave a medal to a man who enabled that war and caused that war. Your blood is on your hands as well. And you're disqualified. You're disqualified. My friends are dead. So is my son. He was in Iraq. Okay? For a year. That doesn't matter, right? You don't think it matters to you. It matters a lot to me. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Okay, I'm not going after your son. You better not. I'm not. No, I'm not going after your son. You were disqualified, sir. Disqualified. The blood is on your hands. Blood is on your hands. No. My brothers and sisters died in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he enabled that to happen. He enabled that to happen. He is disqualified. He is disqualified. No way he can be president. They are dead. Millions are dead in Iraq. He will not be allowed to be president. Disqualified. Trump is more anti-war than Joe.
Fucking bullshit. Fucking imperialist. We actually fought in your damn wars. We fought in your wars. You sent us to hurt civilians. We hurt civilians. You pushed us out to do it.